Gearbox Entertainment President Randy Pitchford's posting spree continues, with the gaming executive slash magician slash film producer recommending that a customer unsatisfied with the PC version of Borderlands 4, quote, get a refund from Steam if you aren't happy with it. With posts like these, we're going to bravely insist that Pitchford just keep posting. Please don't stop.
Yeah, somebody get this man a battery. He's got to go into extra innings. We need late night Randy, 2 a.m. bloodshot eyes posting. Non-stop. Weirdly, we're getting 2 headlines out of this man, more or less kind of reciting common sense to people. I don't know. People like dunking on him, but I don't know. Get a refund. What's the big deal? Anyway, welcome to Inside Games, everybody. We got some internet posts to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, Lawrence and I thought that we were probably done talking about Randy Pitchford this week, but he just keeps posting. He really just keeps going. So I guess we're going to talk more about it, and there is actual news in here too. So gaming's weird uncle Randy Pitchford continuing his posting spree, largely discussing Borderlands 4's poor PC performance.
Yeah, we reported on this before, as Bruce had mentioned, in posts over the weekend. Pitchford essentially implored unhappy users to just cave and use NVIDIA's DLSS resolution scaling technology to improve performance. There was also a side note about maybe people with older PCs just having to acknowledge that their PCs are a little older. Yeah, not everybody liked that, and not everybody wants to use DLSS.
That's right. User LD commented about how their system couldn't run the game acceptably without frame generation, but the input lag caused by frame generation ruins the feeling of the game. And here's a quote. This is not a AAA feeling as a customer. Almost $100. Would you be happy buying a vehicle and finding out the only way you can go 60 miles per hour is by wearing drunk goggles? Would you be happy?
Yeah, probably not, I guess. But Pitchford, to his credit, was at least somewhat diplomatic. And notably, this is after offering LD to help tune the game for their specific PC specification in an earlier reply. But yes, here Pitchford bluntly replied, you can do whatever you want. The game is the game. Please get a refund on Steam if you aren't happy with it. This was all part of one lengthy reply. I took out some allusions to a car and an engine and stuff. He's trying his best. But yeah, Pitchford then continued, quote, if you're not happy using the tools available to you to improve the frame rate, and you're not happy with the frame rate you have, you should play a different game. Pitchford then again offered to help tune the game's performance, which was ignored in kind of a baity reply with a smug gif of somebody shaking their head. I don't know. We're deep into posting territory here, but there you have it. If you don't like it, take your money back.
That's right. Man, I just love that he just keeps going. The subtext of these conversations seems to be that players like LD want Pitchford to admit that the game has performance issues on PC, rather than insist that it's a premium game for premium gamers. That's what he said. He literally said that.
Dude, I love that phrase so much. I don't think I'll ever stop thinking about it. I need to get it tattooed across my neck just to let the world know what I'm about. Well, yeah, that all of that in context makes this next bit even more surprising. Pitchford actually did acknowledge a performance issue on console.
Yeah, so this is an actual thing. This is a real life thing. In a reply to an ex-user complaining about poor performance on PlayStation 5 Pro, Pitchford replied, quote, known issue of performance dropping on PS5 Pro after several hours of continuous play. Workaround until we patch, quit game, and restart. Sorry for the friction. I mean, I guess he apologized.
Yeah, he's very conciliatory about that as much, and at least acknowledged that issue, which is kind of weird because, yeah, the PC performance ain't hot. But yeah, that's obviously not ideal, especially for a game like Borderlands 4. It's really easy to just get sucked in that game and lose a whole afternoon. So for it to just kind of like slowly tank off performance, requiring a quit and restart and stuff. Whatever. I guess it's an excuse to get up and get some water, but still, that's not ideal. That's not how games should work.
For what it's worth, Pitchford isn't the only one crashing out about Borderlands 4 on the internet, Lawrence.
Yeah, this is some spicy internet shit, so be warned. But yeah, he shared an email that he received that reads, you're a fucking idiot. If you think premium games are even a thing, or premium gamers, then you're a fucking, R, re-Harvard. You're the closest thing a white man can come to a, hard R. Yowza. You are the biggest piece of dog shit on the face of this earth, and when you die, no one will mourn for you.
Oh, jeez.
That's heavy, man. Somebody really is mad about Borderlands, huh?
I mean, look, if you're that angry and you're like harassing someone with insults, just get a refund. Just do it. Just get the refund. You're doing literally nobody no favors here. Now you make yourself and your cause in quotes, look bad. And also Randy Pitchford look bad. Everybody looks bad. So maybe don't do this.
Yeah, this is all getting a bit silly. I know someone in the last Inside Games episode, because we're in part number 2 now, had said this. It's like the personification of the he's out of line, but he's right meme. And I kind of agree with that. I just don't get this this desire. I've seen this happen a few times where people need to be shamed for something that they did about video games, about entertainment, about toys. Just play something else, move on with your life. But that's also me being willingly naive. I've been on the internet long enough to see what's really happening. People are antagonizing him because it's working. He's giving everyone the replies that we all love giggling about. So LD specifically was pretty antagonistic, and posts were very condescending and used patronizing gifs and all this stuff. Folks want him to grovel, I think. Oh, I fucked up. Randy Pitchford and I have poop in my pants. Like, that's what they want. It's just weird high school bullying shit where you just want to break someone down. And he's not giving way, so it just makes him a fun target for a while. And for what it's worth, I don't know, he is seemingly trying to work with people in good faith to get the game running on their PC. And if they don't like the advice he has to give, then he's just like, well, take your money back and we'll try, we'll get you next time or something like that. And the game is fun, but this is what happens, right? This is what happens when people aren't media trained or refuse to play the optics game.
The thing is that Randy Pitchford has fuck you money, so he can refuse to play the optics game. He really can. He can just do this for as long as he wants. And the worst part about it is a bunch of people under him are suffering. All of his developers are suffering because they're like, please shut the fuck up. Like, we just want to sell more copies, and I guarantee Randy Pitchford is not selling more copies with these posts and all these people, all these blogs and us reporting on this stuff. There's no way. I saw a bunch of people on Reddit being like, I was going to buy this game, and now all I do is read about Randy Pitchford shitting on people, so I will not be buying this game. And if it were me and I was on the fence about Borderlands, I wouldn't have bought it either. So it's kind of one of those things where, like, he's not doing anybody any favors, and I don't think he's ever going to stop. I really don't. I mean, I do appreciate that he is trying to help, but I think it's like that's where it ends. Like, then it's like if you get condescending replies or if you get mean replies or whatever, just don't acknowledge it. Just keep saying, if you want help, here's your help. If you want help, here's your help. Be a fucking AI chatbot.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep. And I think maybe sometimes if you've been in an executive position long enough, you might be used to being able to convince everyone in the room, because people have a vested interest in agreeing with you in those situations. But on the internet, it's a different story. And to some degree, people enjoy taking a chunk out of your hide if they get the chance. So I think the dynamics are different, and sometimes people aren't quite aware of that. Or like you said, Bruce, maybe they refuse to acknowledge the consequences of being somewhat reckless with words when you are in a position of visibility. Because yeah, I'm sure their customer support is getting like flooded with complaints about him specifically and requesting that he get fired. And it's just, I'm sure it's just, it's inciting, it's attracting a lot of noise that doesn't need to be there. So there is an elegance to diplomacy. And we're witnessing that the lack of that right now.
So I don't know, somebody, his wife or I don't know, whoever's closest to him, just take the phone away, change his login or something. Like it's just not good. This just really isn't good for anybody. Also, we should disclose, we didn't disclose this last time. Both Lawrence and I got a free copy of this video game. So we have played it and enjoyed it, but we did not pay the $70 for the game. And that is very important because Borderlands, I thought, it's kind of an interesting purchase for a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people be like, I was on the fence about spending $70 for Borderlands, which is interesting because maybe they've already spent a lot of the money for this year on other games, and they're like, I don't really want to buy Borderlands. I could probably get it in a year or whatever for $50, $40, which you probably will be able to. And so that's why I'm saying, like, if Randy Pitchford had just shut the fuck up and been like, yeah, performance problems, we're working on them, we'll get there, then everybody would have been like, oh, okay, well, I'll buy it. But he's actively driving people away on a purchase that may have already had people on the fence.
Yeah, maybe. I was kind of fascinated turning that over in my head. Is this all silly social media stuff, or does this actually affect sales in a real world way? Normally, I'd say it's all just theater, but we have seen a couple of times when internet fervor can move very real needles one way or the other. I think Silksong probably drove a lot of interest in sales just because of online hype and people, word of mouth. So if it's the same with this, it could actually it could put a damper on things. And that's maybe when people start changing Randy's x.com password. We need some inspiration, Bruce. We need some real gaming heroism. So let me introduce Inside Games' feats of gaming bravery, of course featuring myself, first of all. I just want everyone to know, I beat Contra. I beat Contra on the NES yesterday. Big deal. Huge deal, in fact. You probably already heard about it, but it's very newsworthy, so I thought I'd report it here. I don't know, it's kind of... that was always a game that always seemed really intimidating as a kid, right? Unbeatable. So it was pretty cool to go back as an adult and just kick its ass in a few hours. But I did it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm going to be honest, Lawrence. I'm pretty sure I beat this when I was like 8.
What? Nobody... No way.
I think because I had the NES and I had Contra. And I'm pretty sure that I beat this game. I may have beaten it... I don't know. This was co-op, right? You could play Contra co-op, right?
Yeah, you can play 2-player.
Yeah. I may have beaten it with a friend. I don't know if I played it solo and beat it. But I'm pretty sure I beat it when I was like 8.
Damn. You should have invited me over. You could have shown me the ending. So many years wasted.
Oh, you know what, though? I will say I probably had to use the Konami code. Because I think the Konami code would give you extra lives, right? In Contra? Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I used the Konami code to use the extra lives, and then I'd use those extra lives to beat the game. So, did you beat it with only 3 lives or whatever it gives you?
Yeah, but I used continues. I didn't 1cc. But I do remember using the Konami code as a kid, and I still couldn't beat it. So maybe I just had stupid hands. Oh my god. Was I an idiot kid? Boy, this feats of bravery went places I wasn't prepared for. I thought I was just going to get a trophy and we'd move on.
I apologize, Lawrence. We'd like to thank a couple of patrons that are supporting the Inside Games Patreon, and they are probably really impressed that Lawrence beat Contra. I mean, like, so impressed, Lawrence, I promise. Alex Newkirch and Dr. Satan 720. Thank you for humoring him.
Hey, I lap it up. I love it. Also, if you haven't, you consider checking out our Patreon. You don't really have to pay. Nothing's really paywalled there. We have like an ad-free tier, those episodes are, but we just list everything for free, and every single episode gets a custom Lawrence Select dank internet meme. Best picture of the day. The best picture you'll see all day is on the Inside Games Patreon, so check it out. And it's a little more topical now because YouTube has shoved us underwater. It's holding our head in a toilet, I guess, related to ad blockers. So we're actually going to do a report on it pretty soon, looking into it and kind of explaining the situation and where we're at, because it's not great. So give it a look, and thank you very much for choosing to watch Inside Games.